I'm so nervous. I've forgotten my name already.
There is a plot device used in some mystery fiction known as the Unreliable Narrator. In these cases, it transpires the person telling the tale may themselves be more involved than you were led to believe, and they may not have been telling you the whole story. Here at Highly Suspect HQ, we've taken this tried and tested concept of the Unreliable Narrator and made a stupid game out of it. Our murderer-in-chief will record himself telling a short murder mystery tale, which, like all of our mysteries, is 100% solvable with the information provided. This will be sent to one of our elite team of regular suspects, who is only allowed to watch it once. They will then record themselves trying to recount the same story to the best of their memory, before sending their version to another highly suspect individual, who will do the same. This chain will continue until everyone in the team has retold the tale, at which point we'll watch it back together and see if anyone has been able to solve the mystery told by a string of unreliable narrators. And even if they haven't, the result should be, well, highly suspect.
Hello, Turner Page here, screenwriter extraordinaire, to tell you about the bizarre mystery I helped solve in my early movie career. This is the heartbreaking case of the Hollywood Heartthrob Homicide. The set of The Malteser Pigeon was not a happy place to be, and the movie was on the brink of falling apart. Only the sheer charisma and talent of lead actor Phil Starr was holding it all together. And the greatest actor of his generation. He'd been in the movie since he was 12, and it was said there was no part that man couldn't play, something he was always keen to test. He was more plain than handsome. His only distinguishing feature was his large bushy mustache, but he didn't need to be a looker when his talent, it just radiated through the lens. Which is why it was such a big shock to everyone when he was found dead inside his locked trailer, with a mysteriously bald top lip, the killer having shaved off his trademark tash in order to take as a trophy. The pathology report revealed Phil had been poisoned by rose-codin, a slow-acting poison which could have been ingested or injected earlier in the day. Phil was a diabetic, so there was conveniently always needles around. The suspects were numerous. The movies are a kill-or-be-killed business after all. Stu Diobas was the film's producer. He made no secret of the fact that he wanted Phil cut from the movie, whatever the cost. And the cost to cut the leading man's contract would have easily been enough to bankrupt the whole studio. Stu was overheard saying if he was going to make a killing in the box office, he'd need to make an actual killing to get there. Tim Soltown, Phil's agent, had everything to gain from the star's death. Rumour was that the life insurance payout was in the tens of millions. But of course they don't pay out for murder if they think you're the one that did it. Finally, we have to many the most obvious suspect, the ironically named Lee Dinglady, who was actually barely even an extra. She was an insipid-looking blonde with an unbearably squeaky voice. How she managed to bag herself a guy like Phil, I'll never know. Of course, he didn't want the world to know they were dating, so they were never actually seen together, but everyone knew. You can't hide a secret that big in Hollywood. Everyone assumed she did it because she ran away immediately after Phil's murder and was never seen again, despite having been seen earlier sharing a toast with Tim, who'd signed her to his agency that day. So surely she should have had every reason to stay. And that's the case. In the movies, it's never the most obvious suspect, but then in real life, it usually is. So, when it's a murder at the movies, which do you think it might be?
Hello! Writer extraordinaire, here, I'm so nervous, I've forgotten my name already. Turner Page, that's my name, yes. I'm a writer for, Hollywood, and I want to tell you about a case that I once came across called the, Homicide Hollywood Heartthrob. Basically, it was a terrible situation. The killer, Phil, his name was Phil. I can't remember his second name because I get so nervous when I have to talk in front of people. Phil Starr, let's call him that. Yeah, he was killed on set. in his trailer. He had a mustache, which he wasn't really he wasn't plain man, but he had this mustache, and basically it was the only thing that sort of defined him between normal sort of extras and stuff like that. And he was found dead inside his trailer. Now, he was a diabetic, and they said that the poison that killed him had to either be ingested or injected. We're not actually sure what that was. But the one thing was that he had his mustache shaved off when he was found in his trailer. Now, on set, there's obviously some difficulties. People that work in Hollywood have the height of sort of ego. So there was many people that could have did it. There was the boss, Studio. He basically wanted to get rid of the star, but he knew that it was part of his contract that he couldn't get rid of him. So he thought about some other way of getting rid of him. There was Tim Sultan, who was one of the directors, and he was trying to sort of get rid of him too. I can't actually remember how. And then there was Lee Dinglady, who was, I think, seeing Tim Sultan. She was really an extra on there, and she just basically. She had met up with Tim the day before, and she also was trying to get him out. I think, as well as the fact that Tim Sultan was trying to kind of change the contract, but he knew that someone couldn't get shot on set and they wouldn't pay out if he shot someone on set. So or if someone died on set. So he kind of thought, well, how do I do this? And that's the story as far as I can remember. This poor man was killed in his trailer, injected or ingested with some sort of poison, and he had his mustache shaved off. You see, in the movie business, it's always a way that someone has to get killed, but we don't know who it is. Do you?
Oh, hi there. This is your favorite Hollywood writer, Turner Page, talking to you live here from Hollywood Studios. So let me tell you about this mysterious case that happened on a film set where I was the writer. So there was this main actor. He was called film star, and he was doing this film that I was a writer for, and then mysteriously one day they just came to his trailer and found him dead, just dead in his trailer. And of course there was like a huge uproar, and all the police came, and there was an investigation, and they found out that he had been killed with some sort of poison, that had gotten into his system somehow. The police weren't sure how, except that it had to have been either ingested or injected, or both, maybe. But one of those two at least was how it got into his system. So anyway, there were and also when police broke down his door, they found that he had his mustache shaved off. It was. Also, he may have been a diabetic, but I'm not sure about that. Okay. So there were three principal suspects in this situation. There was bollocks. There was Stu Dio. Studio was the possibly Italian owner of the studio. He's a real piece of work. He is kind of draconian. Second of all, we've got Tim Sultown. Yes, that was Tim Sultown. I think he was a producer of some sort. And he was also very suspect as well. And then finally we had a leading lady who is absolutely lovely. She rumor has it has been having something of an affair with Tim Sultown. However, how that all relates in terms of their movements and motives and possible murder ways. Yes, I know, I'm sorry. Who knows? Who knows? All I can say is they were in a relationship, they were together, it was suspicious, and he mysteriously died after shaving. That's all I got to say on the matter. I've become far more mothery than I meant to. Good luck, everyone! Good luck!
Hello everyone, my name is Arturna Page and I am your resident writer here in the Hollywood Hills. You may remember me from some of my more famous films such as Bataclanca, Star Wars, and of course the one from our mystery Dead Lucky, which is the one I can't actually think of right now. Back with the Breeze, that's it, the famous sequel to Gone with the Wind. But I'm here to tell you about what happened on the set of my latest film, One Flew Over the Seagull's Nest. Well, we had a tragic death, ladies and gentlemen, tragic death on the set of One Flew Over the Seagull's Nest. In this case, what I like to call the Hollywood Homicide horror. It's got a good ring to it, hasn't it? Look about Nick Ware. Anyway, moving fastly on to what happened. We had our leading man, Phil Studio, was locked in his trailer. He was going over his lines before his next big scene, the Rhino Stampede. And he wasn't there. And so we sent a runner to collect him. We sent Jog On, as his name is. He's very speedy, to go collect him from his trailer. And he knocked, and he went, Mr. Studio! And he didn't respond. So Jog On went to get me and the director, Alfred Cockhedge, and we banged on the door and he wouldn't open. And then we burst through the door. And inside we found Phil Studio dead, ladies and gentlemen. He was dead. And so we called the police and it was all a kerfuffle. And when we looked closely, and it seemed he'd had his mustache saved off. Now, he had a very prominent mustache, ladies and gentlemen. It went like this. And a little swirl. He was very known for it in Hollywood. It was most groomed, you see. And so why would he shave it off? Especially for continuity. He can't have a mustache in the grand ballroom fight scene with the swordfish and then not have the Rhino Stampede, can he now? So he had no mustache, and when the police arrived and there was a big kerfuffle and they did the autopsy, they found out he'd been poisoned, ladies and gentlemen, poisoned, but we have no idea how. It was either injected or ingested. And of course, Phil was, well, some say on set, a diabetic. He loved those cakes at the cake stand. At the catering truck. He was all about the sugary donuts and the sprinkled donuts and the eclairs. But then we always saw him taking a little Swift tablet. I'm sure that's how diabetics worked in the 1940s to relieve his symptoms. Anyway, there were 3 suspects, ladies and gentlemen. There was Stu Dio, our studio owner. Now, Stu is a mean man, big boss. He's all about the money. And he didn't like Phil very much at all. He thought he was costing too much money with his erratic behavior on set. Then we have Tim Sultown. He is the other lead actor in Hollywood. The two were always coming to blows over main roles. In fact, Phil got this role here, the role of, what movie are we shooting? Completely forgotten. Anyway, he got the leading man role of Hollywood Heartthrob. There we go, that's one. to over Tim. And anyway, before his leading lady on the film, she was playing Bessie O'Hanlon, and she was in a relationship with Tim. And they were coming to blows, and they were having a love triangle, but nobody knows really what was going on. It's all very mysterious. But that's it, folks. A shaved mustache, a trio of suspicious suspects, a diabetic, and some donuts. I don't know. I'm gonna keep solving it until someone actually solves it. Good luck.
Oh, God. No, I really hate doing these things. Hello, everybody. I'm Turner Page, your resident writer here in the Hollywood Hills. You probably know me from a lot of my films, Casablanca, Star Wars, as well as Back with the Breeze, you know, the sequel to Gone with the Wind. Yeah, it's very, very famous. And I'm here to tell you about a little horrible thing that happened on the set of one of my films. One Flew Over the Seagull's Nest, where there was a death, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody died. And I like to call the whole thing the Hollywood Homicide horror. Yeah, it's got a nice little ring to it. You see, I'm a writer, so yeah, it doesn't matter. Okay, so we're talking about the death of Phil Studio. He was locked inside his trailer, going over his lines for the next big scene, the Rhino Stampede. And he didn't turn up to set, so we had to send a runner to go get him, jog on, you know, because he's really fast. He goes up to the door and he's knocking, and he's like, Mr. Studio, and there's no answer. So he comes back onto set, gets me, Turner Page, and the director, Alfred Pockich. We go to his trailer, we're knocking on the door, and there's still no answer. So we break down the door, and ladies and gentlemen, he's dead inside the trailer. So we call the police. And when we get a slightly closer look at the body, we see that his mustache, his very, very famous mustache, goes a little bit like this, with a little curl, just like that. You know, he's known for it in Hollywood. It's, a big part of his personality. It makes no sense, but this mustache was gone. Somebody, or himself, had shaved off this mustache, and it just made no sense. Like I said, he was famous for having it, and also the continuity of the film. I mean, he couldn't have the cool mustache in the grand ball fighting scene where they fight with swordfish, but not have it in the Rhino Stampede. I mean, come on, the continuity. And the thing is, we learned from the autopsy quite quickly afterwards that it was poison, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we do not know if it was injected or ingested, but we do know because, it's said around the studio. Well, it's not said, it just does have it. He's diabetic, folks. He's diabetic. And he loves cakes. He does. He's always there with little sugar donuts with sprinkles, or the eclairs, or, little cake pieces. And you always see him now and then take out a little tablet and take it just for his diabetes. That's probably how they did it in the 1940s. So, that could be a thing. But let's go down to suspects, because they're important. I'll start with number one, Studio. Now, Studio runs the whole studio. funny enough. Yeah, that's what he does. And he is all about money. He's a big money guy, and he was just slightly concerned and, well, rather annoyed, if you ask me, about Phil, because Phil and all of his little extravagance on set was costing the company a lot of money, so he didn't really like Phil. The other person we have as a suspect is Tim Sultan. Now, Tim Sultan and Phil are both leading men in Hollywood. They're always competing over roles, and it turns out that Phil got the role on this film, One Flew Over the Seagull's Nest, over Tim. So, that's not very good at all. And then the third and final person is a leading lady. Now, leading lady and Tim are an item, but there's also rumor that leading lady and Phil, and there's been some kind of weird love triangle that could be the reason behind the whole thing, but really, we don't really know. I'm going to stop, talking and suspecting and just leave it to you guys. I mean, you have the evidence, apparently, unless I've missed half of it, which I probably have done, because I'm speaking very quickly, because I don't want it to be 5 minutes this time. But there you go. I've been Turner Page. I hope that's enough for you all, and I'll see you next time.
Oh God, I hate doing these things. Hello, everybody. I'm Turner Page, your resident writer here in the Hollywood Hills. You may know me from some of my films, such as the great Star Wars, or Back with the Breeze, which is a personal favorite of mine. It's very famous. It is, of course, the sequel to Gone with the Wind. It was huge. One of my best works. And I'm here to tell you about something horrible that happened on one of the sets of one of my films. It was called One Flew Over the Seagull's Nest, and I call this whole sorry business the Hollywood Homicide horror. So it all started with the film's movie star, Phil Studio. Yes, Phil Studio. And he was a very, very big star. He was playing our male lead, and on this particular day, he was locked away in his trailer, learning his lines for the next scene, in which we were going to have a rhinoceros stampede. But he didn't turn up to set on time, so we, of course, sent a runner to get him. The runner was called Jog On, because, of course, he was very fast. And he was there, and he was knocking on the door, he was going, Mr. Studio, Mr. Studio, but there was no answer. So he came back and he got me and he got the director, Mr. Alfred Cockitch. I'm sure you've all heard of him. And we all went to Mr. Studio's trailer and we broke down the door, and inside, Phil Studio was dead. But he wasn't just dead. You see, Mr. Phil Studio had a signature look. He had a very, very famous curly handlebar mustache. He was never seen in a movie without it, except it was missing. Either he himself or somebody else had shaved it off, which would, of course, not make any sense because he was never seen on screen without his mustache, but also it would ruin the continuity of the film. I mean, he couldn't be in a scene in a ballroom where he duels with a swordfish with a mustache, and then in the rhinoceros stampede without it, because that just wouldn't make any sense. Duh. It's also worth noting that it was very widely known around the set that Phil Studio had diabetes, but he loved cakes. He loved sweet things. He was always around the food stand eating cakes and sprinkled donuts and the little cake bites and everything sweet he could get his hands on. He loved eclairs, just anything sticky and sweet and gooey, he would have it. So he was often seen taking a little tablet, which is, I presume, how they dealt with diabetes in the 1940s. I don't know. I'm not a medical doctor, I'm a writer. Okay, we have What's going on? Pull yourself together, Turner. Come on. Okay, we have some suspects in this case. The very first was Studio, who, unsurprisingly, ran the film studio. Now, he wasn't very fond of Phil Studio. In fact, he was quite annoyed with him because it turns out Film Studio was a little bit of a diva, and he used to make some rather dramatic, outlandish requests that were very expensive. So it was costing Studio a lot of money to keep Film Studio in the movie and happy about it. There was also another actor called Tim Sultan, and Tim Sultan was quite often Film Studio's rival. You see, they often went up for the same parts, and it turns out that Phil actually beat Tim to the main man part in this movie. Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah. Yes, Tim Sultan auditioned for the part, but Film Studio beat him to it, so there was a bit of a rivalry there. We were also looking at Tim Sultan's girlfriend, Lee Dinglady. Now, they'd been an item for quite a while, but it was rumored that Lee Dinglady was maybe having a bit of a fling on the side with, what was his name, Film Studio. But that was just a rumor. We don't know for certain. And I think that was all of the information. Oh, whoops, this is very long. Wrap it up. Okay, shut up, Turner. Bye.
Hello and welcome to episode 3 already of the Unreliable Narrator, the only show that combines a memory game with a murder mystery, to the best of our knowledge.
We didn't check.
No, it feels original. If it's not, we do it best. At me if I'm wrong.
Anyone, someone reply.
Yeah.
So we're here with our regular murderers. How did we find episode 3?
Loved it.
I mean, I didn't get a title with mine, so I was, I don't know what this case is actually called, technically. I made up my own title.
How do we find being turned a page?
Fun!
Oh,
Fun.
so much
I loved
fun.
it.
I feel like I can kind of semi-tick it off my list of playing all the males in
Yeah.
Murder of the Movies.
Yeah.
It's a taste. I got the taste I needed.
I think my problem with it is the voice just made me feel like I was going slowly crazy. Like
I mean, he is neurotic. Yeah.
And I just was so aware that I was like rambling and that it was getting longer and longer and longer, and I'd really said nothing except the main guy's name 86 times. So yeah, love Turner, but I had an existential crisis halfway through.
Voices make you paranoid. They really do. I kept on, I was trying to remember information, but then kept on being aware that I was slipping out of the voice. So I jumped back in, and then I forgot, the trail of thought I was on. That's bloody annoying.
It's like
So
walking
annoying.
and speaking at the same time when you're acting.
Yeah.
It's really tricky.
It is really tricky.
It's a very fast-speaking character, this one. So when you watch mine, you'll see that I actually had to edit my own to cut stuff out because I realised that I was speaking so quickly that there was too much information in it. So I made some cuts to be kinder to you.
Isn't he nice?
Anti-kind. I should say, I don't think we've ever made it clear to the audience that obviously the characters I'm playing are characters from murder mysteries that we've done. We're not doing the same murders. They're telling different versions of different stories.
So
from
any
their
of
own
them
lives.
appeal to you, hire us.
Yeah, hire us.
Yeah, don't forget to plug.
We do lots of mysteries.
We have so many.
If you fancy,
But
probably got one.
This one was particularly difficult in that regard because every other time it's been a character telling something that's been very different from their usual type of mystery, whereas Turner Page's, the character that I was and that was telling the tale, it was all about a murder at the movies, which is very similar to the actual mystery that he appears in. And that was deliberate on my part because I was being a dick and making it difficult and hoping you might get confused between the mystery that we do and this Unreliable Narrator.
Well, I'm
You're being in a
excited
character.
for mystery because I don't think I could solve it, so I'm excited to see
Yes,
it.
of course. It's time to have that quick discussion. Don't spoil it and tell me who you think it was, but I will go through everyone. I'm not going to even go through you in the order that you were in because I want that to remain a lovely surprise until you see it. So I'll just go in the order that you're on my Zoom. So, Paulie, do you think you have been able to solve this mystery? Have you got a theory?
I've got a theory, yes. I've got a theory. I don't know if it's the right theory, but I'm going to stick with what I originally thought.
Excellent. Good. Lex?
No. I have wild thoughts, but they are, based on absolute flights of fancy and flimsy logic. So, no.
No.
I don't know who done it.
Interesting. Ooh, what about you, Joe?
I'm the exact same. I felt like I got like most of the information, and there was loads of information. But then looking back on it, I don't think any of it was relevant. I think I really do. I was thinking back at what I said, and I was like, "Where's the clue? Where's the thing that connects them? Because I can't see it. I really no. I don't know. I honestly don't even have a theory. I'm clueless. I just have a lot of names. That's all I have.
Exciting. Seb?
I'm pretty sure I've got the how. No clue for the who. Absolutely none whatsoever. Yeah.
Okay, and Alice?
No. No. I have
No.
an instinct towards one of the suspects, but I could not tell you why. There's no logic. There's no theory. I just think they seemed like they might be shifty.
General shiftiness. Based
Sometimes
on
that's all you need. Detective instinct, you should always go with it. So it seems like this one maybe got away from people, perhaps. Tell you what, let's not discuss it anymore. Let's
watch it.
all together watch the original story and my favourite bit, which is watching all of your faces as you see what you didn't get to hear. Bless him.
Oh, I love him.
He's a beautiful man.
I love him.
Here is the Unreliable Narrator, Episode 3, The Heartbreaking Case of the Hollywood
Oh,
Homicide.
is that what it's called?
Oh,
Oh my god, he seems scared.
he always seems scared.
That's nothing new.
If anyone finds this tape after my death, I was murdered.
Oh.
Oh dear. That's detail that I don't think made it through.
Nope.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh my god, how much was made up in the one I saw?
Oh.
Okay, money troubles coming into it.
Actual motive in this.
You'd need to make an actual killing to get there. Tim Saltown, Phil's agent, had everything to get.
Oh, his agent.
Agent?
Or was
Oh,
the life insurance
shit.
payout was in the tens of
Uh-oh.
So, when it's a murder at the movies, which do you think it might be?
Oh, there was a witty payoff line as well.
There's always a payoff line.
It was the first thing to go.
I got a whole thing about a runner knocking on a door. Where was that? I got a whole backstory about how they found the body. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It's improvising unnecessary details since 2010.
But I do think because obviously we all know Murder at the Movies so well, having like a story that ran parallel with it in that same world, really it messed with my head from the outset.
So quite a lot of new information.
Yeah.
It sounded like
New drop rolls. I didn't know. I didn't know about leading lady not being the leading lady.
No, leading lady who was ironically an extra, who of course went missing after. That's why she was the obvious suspect to many.
Did they ever mention the director? Did you mention the director?
Oh God.
Oh my God.
There was a director?
Yeah. I got bloody Alfred Cockage came into it. But I watched mine.
Let's see where this goes, shall we? Hello! Writer extraordinaire here.
Instantly forgot his name.
I forgot my name already. Page, that's my name, yes. I'm a writer for.
That seemed a lot longer in my head.
It always does.
I once came across called the Homicide.
It's giving me a bit Christopher Walken vibes.
Basically,
Came across the page.
A terrible situation.
I'm a big fan of that jumper.
Yeah, you know what? It's Jen's. I don't even own a jumper.
Can't remember the second name because
what? You're Scottish.
I get so nervous when I have to talk in front of
The
people.
whole look's very Elton John.
They're actually Rosie's pro glasses.
Give a little applause. Ollie is the first person who's actually remembered the name of the dead person.
Yay!
Thank you.
He was a plain man, but he had this mustache, and basically it was the only thing that sort of defined him between.
Well done. Tick the
All
mustache.
correct.
And he was found dead inside his trailer. Now, he was a diabetic, and they said that the poison that killed him had to either be ingested or injected.
I got that right. Yeah.
That was.
Yeah, you Paulie.
But the one thing was that he had his mustache shaved off when he was found in his trailer. Now, obviously, there's all
Jill's got to solve it.
difficulties. You know, people that work in Hollywood have the height of sort of eagles. So
Eagles?
many people that
Eagles.
There was
What eagles?
The height of eagles.
Stu
What are you
Dio, he was
I think I said director there, didn't I, Mike?
wanted to get rid of.
Yes, I think so.
The star, but he knew that it was part of his
And
contract.
at this point, I started forgetting everything.
He thought about, you know, some other.
We're about to see this.
There was Tim Sultan,
Another tick.
who was one of the directors, and he was trying to sort of
Director of an
get
agent.
rid of him too. I can't actually remember how. And then there was Lee Ding Lady, who was, I think, seeing Tim Sultan. She was really an extra on
Tick.
and she just basically
You remember loads.
she had met up with Tim the day before, and she also sort of was trying to get him out. I
That's
think
all very good.
Get him out.
As the fact that Tim Sultan.
I love how we all
was trying to kind of
have that same intonation whenever we do a name.
Yeah.
Tim
Sultan.
The other thing is, we don't actually need to remember the whole of it. We could just say Tim. But for some reason, we all have to say Tim Sultan.
It's easier to remember it if you do the whole pun, I think. Like, otherwise, it's just the name. But if you can make it Tim Sultan.
Man was killed in his
Oh, he's gone blank.
Injected or ingested with some sort
he's risking a sum up.
And he had his moustache shot out.
I did it quick though. I did it. It was like 2.5 minutes, Mike.
The way that
with the sum up.
Someone has to get killed, but we don't.
Someone has to get killed.
Someone has to get killed. I mean, you know what? A lot of it was there.
Yeah, Paulie.
You went first.
You know what? Like, after that, I messaged you and I was like, I've absolutely screwed this up for everyone. I was so deflated. I was like, and I was walking around the kitchen going, I didn't mention that bit. Oh my God, what a tit. Oh no. And I'm like, I'm sitting there going, these guys are going to get this and it's just going to go completely to crap. But watching it back, I remembered more than I remembered that I did on the day.
The vast majority of it was in there, including things that we've never had survive the first person before, like the victim's name. All of the suspects were still in there. One of them's Stu Dio boss had just turned into Stu Dio, but that's no great loss. A lot of the plot was there. Tim Sultan did change to being director rather than agent, and his possible motive of life insurance had disappeared. So that wonderful example was then sent on to Seb. Let's see what he made of it.
Oh, hi there. This is your favorite Hollywood writer, Turner Page, talking to you live.
Doing that rocking thing, Seb. Seb's trademark rock.
But I think you need to do
It's very
something to help
appropriate
you
for
think.
Turner. Yeah.
This mysterious case that happened on
I've definitely seen that outfit on 40 Spice.
On where?
So there
40
is
Spice.
this
I'm really appreciating the artwork behind you. It's movie themed.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
And he was doing this film.
Does it like someone has been on like a 3-day bender? You know, just like, I don't know what I'm wearing or whose it is, but I'm here and I'm talking.
That was just pre-haircut, so it's, I'm a lot more svelte now.
A huge uproar, and all the police came, and there was an investigation, and they found out that he had been killed with some sort of poison. A poison. That got into it.
A poison.
Poison.
I signed off. I sound like an old Jewish mother at the end.
I should never buy gribbiness from a boil. It's so gooey.
So anyway, that was. And also when police broke down his door, they found that he had his mustache shaved off. Shaved off it was.
Poisoned and shaved off.
Shaved off it was. Tell the paper.
It's quite dramatic in a 1920s style sort of thing.
There were three principal suspects in this situation. There was.
Go away, Jill.
Bollocks.
There was bollocks.
Dio. Studio was the possibly Italian owner of the studio.
Possibly Italian.
The work
Turned into Donald Trump. Yeah, possibly Italian.
Draconian.
Was it draconian mentioned? No, that's
That's from Murder at the Movies.
Yeah.
I know, it's, yeah.
Yes, there was Tim Sultan. I think he was a producer of some sort.
So he's now a producer.
And he was also very
Jack of all trades, Tim.
and then finally,
Of course, we've got to be in this industry.
He's done it all.
Who is absolutely lovely. She rumor has it, has been having something of an affair with Tim Sultan.
Getting very Goya-esque.
Goya?
Oh, and Lee's now having an affair with Tim.
In terms of their movements and motives and possible murder.
Murder. It's so good.
Who knows? Who knows?
Who knows? I don't know. You know? I don't know.
The Tommy gun.
He's a mafioso now.
He mysteriously died after shaving.
It's so good, man.
Good luck, everyone. Good luck.
Oh, dear.
Yes. Yes.
So.
Poison! He was poisoned, I tell you.
Oh.
So the elderly Jewish mother.
You've been on the 3-day bender.
On the 3-day bender.
Who was just leaving for work, incidentally.
Managed to tell us that he was dead, that his moustache was shaved off, and there were 3 suspects, but there was nothing suspicious about any of them.
Yeah.
I feel lied to. I literally feel like I thought after that, I sent Mike a message. I was like, I think I actually did okay this week. I think I got a lot of information in. And from seeing how it started, how much information is just made up.
Yeah.
Well,
right, in my defense.
I've got a small confession to make, which is that having, because obviously I watch them before I send them on to the next person, just because I'm curious to see how it's going, and sometimes I'll maybe give a little hint when I'm passing it on to say, oh, don't forget this. And so having watched that one, I then thought, this is now only 2 videos in, and we've already reduced it to basically 3 facts.
Yeah, that's my
This
bad.
is the guy, his mustache was shaved off, he might have been diabetic, here's the name of 3 suspects, but we don't know anything about them. So upon giving it to Lex, I did say, just as a general reminder, that if you don't think the story makes sense, you are free to extrapolate. To if you've got a theory, insert in the same way that other people previously have gone, I don't think it's this person, therefore I'm going to dismiss them. If you think a suspect is guilty, you can make slightly more of it. So I was just saying, remember, you've got a bit of freedom to make the story make sense. Lex took this, as you're about to see, a little bit too
I
literally.
misinterpreted what he meant.
I was sat there at the end trying to figure out how it's done. I was like, so how are the rhinos involved? I was like, is that a clue? Yeah, rhinos. And swordfish again. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I didn't know, but Mike meant to extrapolate theories based on the info we had.
Why would I make it make some... It's a murder mystery!
She inserted about 3 new characters.
Yeah.
3 new people.
Yeah, I added a lot more names. Well,
if you don't like the story, just change it, Lexi.
Let's just
everything that Seb told me makes it through. There's just a lot more in it.
Let's see what happens when Lex decides to start a chain of a murder mystery story. This is basically video 1 of the Unreliable Narrator.
I like the 2 pairs of glasses.
Here in the Hollywood Hills, you may remember me from some of my more famous films, such as Casablanca,
Casablanca,
Star Wars, and of course the one from our mystery Dead Lucky, which is it's like a Dead Lucky,
From Dead Lucky
movie.
It's not even something you needed to remember.
Gone with the Wind, but I'm here to tell you about what happened on the set of my latest film, One Flew Over the Seagull's Nest.
I want it. I want to see it.
It was actually the Malteser pigeon, but that didn't make the first video.
The Hollywood Homicide horror
got a good ring to it.
See, I had to make that up because I got no title.
Anyway, moving straight up fastly on to what happened. We had our leading man, Phil Studio.
Studio.
He was going over his lines.
He was Phil Star.
The Rhino stampede. And he was dead.
Rhinos.
And so we sent a runner to collect him. We sent Jog On as his name. His very speed. To go collect him.
Jog On.
New characters, shall we? That's one.
That's amazing, Lex.
So Jog On went to get me and the director, Alfred Cottage, and we banged on the door and he wouldn't open. And then we burst through.
He's not even dead yet.
I only added a minute on, to be fair.
Dead, ladies and gentlemen. He was dead. And so we called the police, and it was all a kerfuffle. And when we looked closely, and it seemed he had his mustache saved off. Now, he had a very prominent mustache, ladies and gentlemen. It went like this.
I really hope it made it through. I want them gesture to have made it through.
It was a big bushy one to start with.
But now it's fabulously curly.
I had a mustache in the grand ballroom fight scene with the swordfish, and then
There's the swordfish. Yep.
And when the police arrived and there was a big kerfuffle and they did the autopsy, they found out that he'd been poisoned. Poisoned.
This is a conspiracy theory at this point. That you're just rambling on about.
Missing the tinfoil helmet.
I thought we weren't allowed to drink before we filmed them.
The cake stand. He had the catering truck. He was all about the sugary donuts and sprinkled donuts and the
what?
But then we always saw.
So I'm sat there going, "Oh, is someone put something in the donuts?" Because that's obviously a big clue to solving the mystery.
Oh my
It's
God.
really hard to get all the different kinds of pastries in.
I just feel so much better from watching this. Like, you don't understand how bad I felt. And now watching this, I'm like, I could have said anything.
He didn't like Phil very much at all. He thought he was costing too much money with his erratic behavior on set. Then we have Tim Brown. He is the other lead actor.
See,
now he's an actor. Agent, producer.
He's a slashy.
He gets around.
It's one of these indie studios where everyone does everything.
Oh no.
Low budget.
He got the role, the leading man role of
Leading man role.
Hollywood Heartthrob. There we go. That's one.
It's not even a male name, Holly, but there you go.
Anyway, the third leading lady. He's leading lady on the film. She was playing Bessie O'Hanlon.
What?
Bessie O'Hanlon.
That goes. I dropped that instantly. That disappears.
Bessie O'Hanlon.
Yep.
Oh, very mysterious.
Yeah, Bessie doesn't survive.
But I see looks. The shaved mustache, a trio of suspicious suspects, a diabetic, and some donuts. I don't know. I'm going to keep solving it until someone actually solves it. Good luck.
Amazing.
So I film it, and I'm like, at the end, I'm like, oh no, I missed out Bessie O'Hanlon. Oh God, what if it's an anagram for the killer's name and I've missed it? That makes me feel better. That makes me feel better.
So, people at home, that is why I write the original ones.
Yeah.
It had colour, it had several more characters. I changed Tim's job again, and upgraded leading lady from an extra to a
leading lady.
Yeah. And may have missed out the romantic. No, I said that she was having an affair with Tim, which I got.
Yeah, you said there was a weird love triangle thing.
But apart from that, I didn't lose anything. I just added.
Added loads.
Yeah.
So
all the details.
I literally was like, "Oh, Michael's given us a really hard one this time. So many characters and information."
Oh, Joe!
Yes.
You look so fun.
That is a man who works in IT.
Yep. That's a character right there. That's a character.
Star Wars as well as
Voices on it as well, like equally committed to this. I was so impressed.
Oh, look at you! Remembered all my film titles.
I'm here to tell you about a little horrible thing that happened on the set of one of my films. One flew over the seagull's nest.
Hey!
Yay!
Gentlemen, somebody died, and I like to call the whole thing the Hollywood Homicide Horror. Yeah, it's got a nice little ring to it. You see, I'm her writer. So.
Freaking hell, like word for word.
Okay,
spoilers.
So we're talking
Joe
about
manages to regurgitate almost everything Lex said.
Oh,
It's just such a
man.
shame it was all bollocks.
I know. I felt really good.
And he didn't turn up to set, so we had to send a runner to go get him, jog on, you know, because he's fast. He goes up to the door and he's knocking. He's like, Mr. Studio, Mr. Studio. And there's no
Mr. Studio.
Well done, Joe.
And the director
Hey!
to his trailer, went knocking on the door, and there's still no answer. So we break down the door.
Whose glasses are those you've
ladies and
stolen?
gentlemen, he's dead.
Yeah, they're my dad's.
Can you see through them?
No.
Closer look at the body. We see that his
Are your eyes magnified through them?
I think so, yeah.
Because I'm sure they are bigger than normal.
Yeah, you got a mustache.
Thank you.
A big part of his personality. It makes no sense, but this mustache was gone. Somebody or himself had
Just
shaved
gone.
it off one line.
Like I said, he was famous for having it, and also the continuity of the film. I mean, he couldn't have the cool mustache in the grand ball fighting scene where they fight with swordfish, not have it in the right mustache.
I tried so hard to remember that pointless piece of information.
Do you now hate me, Joe?
No, I don't.
No. Or ingested.
Good thing we didn't over the order because Joe, if he knew we had me after him, I feel would try and screw me over.
Just does have it. He's diabetic, folks. He's diabetic. And he loves cake. He does. Sugar.
He loves cake.
Love the cake. Claire's
little cake pieces, and you always see him now and then take out a little tablet and take it to diabetes, and that's probably how they did it in the 90s.
This is amazing.
I'm just saying what Lex said. I'm just repeating.
Oh, no, you're doing superbly.
Word for word, mate.
Runs the whole studio. Funny enough. That's what he does.
I just had a moment where I realised that Studio runs the studio. I was like,
and rather annoyed, if you ask me, about Phil, because Phil and all of his little extravagance on set.
So can Joe now do a one-man version of Murder Group?
The other person we have as a suspect is Tinseltown. Now, Tinseltown and
Very
Phil
nice, yeah.
are both leading men in
There we
They're
go.
always competing over roles, and it turns out Phil got the
it's a shame it's wrong information. Isn't it? You know?
It's so
delivered.
Good,
It's delivered so confidently.
It is.
yeah.
It's very impressive how you remembered all this. Clearly more info's the way to go, Mike.
Oh, you want me to put more in from now on?
Well, I'm
Fine
just
by me.
saying, Joe's got it.
No, it was the characters that did it. I said to Mike, it was because I could pair each thing to a person. So I had like Jog On was them finding the body, Alfred Crockett was the diabetes. So I could pair information to a character.
Yeah.
It made it quite a bit easier, but obviously I didn't. Half the characters weren't real.
None of them are real, to be fair, Joe. But yeah.
True.
That's definitely under 5 minutes.
Well, Joe, you get the star badge this week.
Yeah.
You just need to include more
Absolutely.
names. If we get
That's
more
what I
names, then I could use my little technique. But
That's why I thought I was like second. I was like, oh my god, there's so much pressure. I'm so.
Well, I thought I was second.
information.
Because I was like, Lex has remembered so much of what Mike has come up with. And I was like, so I must be second. So I was like, are we in the same order again? No.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was another bit, and I heard it was very strange that before I even started as Turner, I had a minor breakdown when I started filming.
Yeah, I've kept that in.
Oh, good.
Oh, bless her.
It's yeah, I couldn't take that out. Let's just watch.
Yes.
Oh, fabulous. Fabulous.
You look like such a movie star with those glasses.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Oh God, I hate doing these things.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
That's the cutest version of Turner.
Perfect. Oh.
It's like Turner if he was a mole. A little mole in a cartoon. I'm a mole.
Sorry, yours.
Heard it here first, folks. If you need a voice actor for a mole,
There you go.
call me.
It's the sequel
to Gone with the Wind.
I'm enjoying the reflection of your living room in your glasses. It's very.
That's true, actually. Yes.
Yeah, I had to do a quick tidy round before I started filming because I realised how much you could see.
What are the long pole things that I can see on sort of on the left hand side? There's a series of black and white lines. Is that like a cupboard or?
No.
Hollywood Homicide.
Oh yes, yes.
Oh. So it all started with the film's movie star, Phil.
Phil.
Studio.
He was locked away in his trailer, learning his lines for the next scene, which we were going to have a rhinoceros stampede.
Yes.
He didn't turn
Makes it in.
I feel like it's Jumanji or something like that.
It was called Jog On. He was very fast. And he was
I kind of wish you
nothing
had asked
with
us
his
who we all thought it was in case
Mr.
everyone eventually said
Studio.
jog on.
Mr. in the studio, but there was no answer. So he
Oh.
came back and he got me and he got the director, Mr. Alfred Pockitch. I'm sure you've all heard of him. And we all went
Only since Lex.
I have no regrets. I followed my instructions.
Was dead. But he wasn't just dead. You see, Mr. Phil in the studio had a signature look. He had
Everyone just has that urge when they have glasses to now and then just go, just that little glasses
Well,
acting.
I mean, Alice, correct me if I'm wrong, but is your left lens slightly higher than your right lens?
which would have
Yes, because my left ear sits slightly higher.
Oh, really? Okay.
When the continuity
I have a really natural odd wonk of the face.
Yeah.
An odd
Fascinating.
wonk. Love
An
it.
odd
All
one.
you Jules made it through.
And then in the rhinoceros chase, rhinoceros stampede.
Yeah. I'm
rhinoceros
pretty
stampede.
sure all of your details make it through.
See, I'm very memorable as a writer.
It's also worth noting that it was very widely known around the set that Phil in the studio had diabetes. But
The diabetes. Diabetes.
Oh God.
And little cake bites and
I tried so hard to remember all of these names. It's never important.
anything sticky and sweet and gooey, he would have it. So
there's
he
two
was
Paulies.
often seen taking a little tablet, which is, I presume, how they dealt with diabetes in the 1940s.
Double Paulie.
I don't know. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm a writer. Okay.
I'm not a
Do you
medical
fi-
doctor. I'm
Do you
a
find
writer.
that funny, Alice? Do you find that?
Damn it, Jim! I'm a writer, not a medical doctor.
Okay, we have some suspects in this case. The very first was Stu Dio, who, unsurprisingly, ran the film studio.
You say unsurprisingly, but I'm sure he's been other things during this chain.
Now he runs the film studio.
The film studio was a little bit diva and used to make some rather dramatic, outlandish requests. Were very expensive. So it was costing studio a lot of money. To keep
That's it, you
film and
wangle
studio
your
in the
doggle.
movie.
Make your point.
Another called Tinseltown, and Tinseltown was quite often film studio's rival. You see that
It's incredible how long this has gone on for, like, considering how short the original was.
It's an epic tale, that's for sure.
Yes, it is.
in this movie.
I had to get in all the pastries and the rhinos and the swordfish.
Yeah, like, the important clues.
I sense a needling there from Joe.
Not bitter at all.
Right there. We're also looking at Tinseltown's girlfriend, Lee Dinglady. Now, they'd been an item for quite a while, but it was rumored that Lee Dinglady was maybe having a bit of a fling on the side with
The Augustus
Phil
stream.
in the studio. But that was just a rumor. We don't know for sure.
In that case, it happened. If it's a rumor, it happened.
Of course.
I think that was all of the information. Oh, whoops, this is very long. Bye.
About 3 minutes after I sent it to Mike, panic because Alton Joe's face flashed into my mind, and I realised I hadn't mentioned that it was poison that killed him.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
It's like, apologies to everybody else in the chain because I've dropped a big old ball there. But didn't matter.
Did Alice or Joe maybe think that either Jog On or Alfred Cockett were involved as the
Yeah.
No, but I did think Jog On might have been
Yeah, I did.
a name that had gone wrong somewhere down the line because it didn't seem like a Mike name.
Yeah.
Did it not seem funny enough? Was it not enough of a pun to just be called
Yeah,
Jog On?
Did
I liked
hear
it.
that? Like, Jog isn't a name.
Okay, so, Paulie, you had a theory.
Yeah.
Are you still sticking with the same theory?
I would have to say yes. I'm going to stick with my original idea, even though I'm pretty certain it's wrong.
Okay. Seb, you didn't have much of a theory.
It's literally random, so.
Hey, 1 in 3 chance, or 1 in 6, I suppose, technically.
Yeah. And the rhinos could have done it.
Oh, yeah, that's
Rhinos
true.
could have
If it
done
turns out to be a rhino all
Oh
along.
my god, what if it was... Oh no, I was about to say I've got it, but I can't because it's based on stuff that I said. Like the swordfish needle.
I gave myself
When
the own
someone
clue.
injected him when during the duel, the swordfish nose on the poison.
Oh, wow.
So good. It is that.
That's
You get
brilliant.
points. You get points if you've solved it with a bit I forgot to put in the original. So, well, it was you next.
Haven't a clue. I will make up a great answer by the time we've
Okay,
filmed
I look forward to seeing that. Joe?
Not a clue. I don't have a clue. I know what I know now is a lie.
You could probably let us know if you had even a vague theory. Was it one of the new characters?
The thing is, it was the first time, as far as I was concerned, there was ever like a preamble before they found the body. There's this whole thing of them knocking on the door and the rhino stampede and this runner. And I was like, there has to be a reason behind this. So I didn't think it was Jog On, but I felt like Jog On maybe, I don't know, delivered the cake, or like he was the one who delivered whatever had the poison in
vehicle
it.
for death.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. But he didn't mean to do it. I thought he was involved. I will admit. Like, yeah.
With a name like Jog On, how can you not be involved?
Exactly.
Perfect. And Alice, having seen all this, anything occurred?
No. No, I feel like watching yours versus what I got was like watching your film on acid. And I have no answers.
I feel like I got a different story. I feel like I was in a
Yeah.
different unreliable narrator.
This is definitely 2 episodes of Unreliable Narrator.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
It's
we got
in.
equal.
Yeah,
Sorry.
there's the original halfway through. Just I didn't like that one very much. I'm just going to tell my own story.
It's the facts.
I just think the thing that gets me the most is the fact that I was really stressed about this all week. And like coming to it now, and like there was absolutely nothing that I could have done to prevent it turning out like this.
Yeah,
I could have been utterly terrible. Well, maybe not utterly terrible, but you know, it was just it's brilliant.
Yep. So it's time to throw it over to you at home. I mean, really use the first 3 videos.
Yeah.
Ignore from here. See if you can figure out who killed Phil Star.
Oh yeah.
And why on earth his?
Oh yeah, he was there.
Oh yeah, that's his real name.
That's his real name. Why on earth they would shave his mustache off? Was it kept as a trophy? What's it all about? I mean, that wasn't a mystery by the end of it, but it was at the start. So try and solve the mystery. If you can solve both, if you can solve Lexi's version and my version, double points. Let us know in the comments. Do like, share, subscribe, all that nonsense. Tell friends. See if you can solve it and they can't. It's really satisfying. And check back later this week when you will see the solution
5 p.m. on Friday.
figure out who done it. In the meantime,
Stay unreliable.
That's the
That is not
Stay
what we're
unreliable.
saying.
You reliably stay unreliable though. Like
Hey, that's right. No, that's certainly Lexi's catchphrase for this session.
Stay unreliable.
So goodbye and stay unreliable.